All right. On this episode of Sleep Takeout, we're going to talk about a year full of breakthroughs, but we only took the number one spot, or what took our number one spot and the most game changing sleep insight. We're going to count down from 3 to 2 and to 1. And I promise our top spot is going to surprise you.
And if this is the first episode that you've listened to, you're in really for a treat. This is our year in review. I'm Dr. Michelle Zetoony, which you know from our introduction. We have Dr. Daniel Baughn, and we kind of mix the scariness of both of the psychology on the medical side and sleep, and then we try and give you in this prepackaged sleep advice without a pill, where we use the real science, real tools. We try it out, and we try it as real humans, and give you something to take back and use immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about these episodes. So this is our 5th year, and that's pretty exciting in of itself.
That's a big deal. And
Yeah,
thank you for our
and
listeners, by the way. You've gotten us here to year 5. Like, oh my gosh.
you've gotten us. We have our ask that maybe if you're on YouTube, subscribe. This was our first year with YouTube and video, and gosh, that was really
Oh, yeah.
eye-opening and not so stressful, but very interesting experience. But we're going to talk about what shaped this year. So the format changes. What are the lessons that we learned? We went to our first podcast conference. Didn't even know those existed.
Sure didn't. No, girl, I remember that. You remember that violin? Girl, I for sure. The violin
I
on the
just remember
stage.
the doors being closed and opening up and everybody rushing in, and we were just looking at it pretty crazy.
I think we were honestly, like, in hindsight, I think we were like, what did we get ourselves into? Like, what is this?
Well, and if you remember, we didn't even go day one.
We did not. Well, I mean, right. I think we were there on a Thursday and a Friday, right? Or was it Friday
Well,
and Saturday?
no, we were there Friday and Saturday.
Friday
We
and
did
Friday,
not
okay.
stay for Sunday.
Right. But it had been open for a while before we got there. So,
I mean, and they were super excited still.
yes.
For each event,
Oh,
not
yeah.
that there were problems getting seating, but at the end of the day, people were really actively listening. Remember that lady? I think you were in. They were talking about horse podcasts.
Yep. Hmm. I know. Like,
Who knew?
I know. And I think this is kind of what's really interesting about the podcast universe and even the people that follow us on or watch us on YouTube is it can be a very rabbit hole-y niche type of thing. But for people that are really looking again for sleep advice without a pill, which is kind of what we try to really emphasize, this is where you find your people. Like you find your people who are like, hey, look, I want to sleep better, but I don't want to be on the Ambien or the Lunesta or anything else. So
Yeah, I mean, the other thing about our podcast so far, and we're gonna talk about
mhm.
potentially changes, but it's you and me kind of peeling stuff apart and digesting it. It's not saying yes to interviewing people, on the podcast or breaking down, literally the medical science and talk about the methods. This is just very, very practical stuff.
Absolutely. And like in kind of shifting to some like highlights for 2025, like I think one of the things that we did this year that I think a lot of our listeners and watchers on YouTube can really kind of appreciate, we continued our deep dive format. We did the CBTI series. We've also done more remote recording. We've also talked a little bit more about some more holistic kind of lifestyle things like the plant-based eating, sleep wearables and technology, breath work. And we even talked about, we had some community engagement events. We did a Sleepy Saturday. Michelle, you've been doing some classes from that perspective. And we even did our Tired But Not Sleepy boxes back in the spring.
Yeah, so the Sleep Takeout podcast, because it is out to the world and out to the community, it kind of morphed our Sleep Tampa Bay events, which we were always doing twice a year, to bring in a different subset. So Sleep Tampa Bay was made for our narcolepsy folk to meet each other, but we invited the insomnia people to that, I guess, whole avenue, and we really learned that what helps with sleep in one side also helps with sleep in the other side, and we made these cute little boxes, and
Mhm.
the feedback is very good. If you want to make those again, you have to let us know.
Oh, yeah. Again, send us a comment, subscribe, send us an email, sleeptakeout@gmail.com. There's lots of ways to let us know. Like if you really enjoyed an in-person event or if there's, I know we definitely have watchers and viewers from other parts of the world too. So I know if you guys can't physically visit us in person, if there's something where you're like, "Hey, can you really explain for us what this is? Like, what is a tired but not sleepy basket or box or things like that?" Let us
Right.
know. We definitely do a deep dive.
So when we're looking at our episodes for this past year, it's really interesting. In our deep dive for the cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, we broke it down in quite a few episodes so that we could make it very specific and meaningful for each. And one of the interesting things is I always told people, this cognitive behavioral therapy insomnia, the start here was one episode. It says start here, episode 96. And our most viewed of that series was number 2.
Yeah.
90 episode 97. So in that episode, we reviewed an app that we've reviewed actually probably every year since we started, the CBTI Coach app.
Yep.
CBTI Coach did kind of like a little makeover on themselves, and so they changed it a little bit. They gave you some more choices and options for the listening and the wind down, turning your brain off. The tool
Yep.
tab with the quiet your mind, so that changed. And I also think that their sleep log is a little bit more user-friendly than it used to be. So that's
Oh,
kind of really
yeah.
interesting. It dwindles off a little bit, and I think part of that is just because maybe people are still working on the initial,
Yeah.
episodes,
Getting started, maybe.
and then they don't wanna necessarily go to that, but then all of a sudden we hit to our second top, is this plant-based eating. I mean, obviously
I love it.
Y I knew this because I've been plant-based for quite a few years, and then, having kind of us working on it was as far as the podcast is concerned, plant-based eating and eating in general has taken such a turn because we had other episodes that were about some of these, like, medicines that are out there
Mhm.
to help with identifying, like, eating and craving and food noise,
Mhm.
but our episodes on plant-based eating really did seem to resonate with the viewers.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely, I think what kind of resonates, in at least at this most recent year, and the ideas where, we see people that watch the most episodes, downloaded them, and our YouTube data is a little kind of not as clear, but that's primarily because people that find us on YouTube find us in a different way than our listeners that
Either that or we just don't understand YouTube as well.
Oh, well, that could be true too. But I will say 2025 has been the year of us launching on YouTube and kind of experimenting on YouTube and trying to figure out how YouTube works. And I mean, I think our watchers and our listeners know, Michelle, like this is not what we do full time. Um, so it's us in between being like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Do you know what that?
Maybe they're too scared that if we get really popular on YouTube and we go viral that we're gonna quit our day
I
jobs.
mean, maybe that's it.
Not gonna happen.
No.
Not gonna happen, guys. It's okay.
All right, we can make our full-time job can be designing sleep coloring and books, like 100%. That could be our full-time job. No.
So, we talked about kind of what our goals, are, and maybe that's our next goal in 2026. Looking to
Yeah.
see, what we're doing, how we're going to teach people. Maybe we're going to do like a full-on retreat for the trainers.
Mhm. I
So
think
we
so. I mean, in our themes of looking at, more than just sleep, like sleep plus your eating, sleep plus your activity level, sleep plus your breathing, I think in a lot of ways, what we're really kind of emphasizing, at least this last year did, and I think this kind of is true for a lot of it's true for a lot of the patients that I see and clients, is that, sleep is not just one part of your life. It's this plus everything else that really holistically is gonna help you to get better rest in the long term. So, 100%, like, more kind of events to do. And I know we've even kind of exploring how to do some online, kind of maybe more live events where people can, join us and do like a video version, those types of things too. Because there are plenty of people that have questions out there, and we love this as being a really an educational resource. That's what it is. Like, this is not, healthcare advice for anybody. This is educational information, entertainment purposes. Um, we always want you to talk to your own individual healthcare providers when you have questions. But we know a lot of you don't know who to ask, and you don't know maybe what to ask. And for sure, there's a valid reason why it's hard to find the information that you're looking for. Um,
we were going back to look at what should we talk about this year, and I went and I looked to see what we talking about last year for the
mhm.
future. and we were going to do the retreat. We were going to do a camping trip. We definitely were going to get together with the viewers. But one of the other things, Dan, that I had forgotten about until just now was we were going to go to a mattress store and do like a recording while we were at the mattress store. So it's still on our list. If you want us to come to your mattress store, your favorite one, let us know.
Maybe we should add, and that's true. Maybe we should have our podcast listeners and our YouTube viewers put it in the comment. Like, what's mattress store do you want it to go to? Like, is it a Tempur-Pedic store? Is it a Sleep Number store? Is it the original Mattress Factory? Is it?
Oh, maybe that's where our next event is, like at the mall,
Wow.
at International Mall, the Sleep Number store.
Oh, we could.
Or
Absolutely.
IKEA.
Yeah. There's a really nice one too on Water Street. There's at Satva, Saatva. They make mattresses.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
They're big online.
they are. Honestly, I will say, this is totally unrelated, but Thuma beds, Thuma beds, I do like their furniture. I don't make mattresses. They make beds that are like kind of like it's like the next version up from IKEA. They're also really pricey, but they look really cool. But anyway, that's a whole.
And wait, it's an invitation for them to come sponsor us.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like even like Sleep 8, or sorry, 8 Sleep, and then BedJet. I already talked about them before too. Like, I am curious to know more data from these things and more kind of realistic pieces. I know we talked about sleep temperatures on the last episode. But yeah, 100%. Like, and honestly, I have tried out that Tempur-Pedic power platform that vibrates for you. I mean, girl, it felt amazing. Will it help you get better sleep? Kind of questionable, but it did feel amazing, and the experience of it. But so yeah, so we definitely need to make an actual field trip to a furniture store again. And I mean, really looking forward to kind of 2026, I think one of the goals is really just to kind of continue to bring more clarity, more practicality, more science that you can actually kind of use. And I know a big thing, Michelle, that showed up for us in at least 2 episodes this year, some of our most watched, is really these GLP-1s for sleep. So this has been a hot topic this year. I know first it was tirzepatide back in the spring because of the research study that kind of came out. And then we talked about GLP-1s, and because tirzepatide is a GLP-1 and a GIP. And then we talked about them in general, but there's definitely more and more interest in these specific medications for sleep in particular.
All right, so I'm going to break down for the top 3 breakthroughs from this podcast in the last year. Starting at number 3 was the rise of how behavioral treatment, okay, not the cognitive restructuring, but the behavioral components that are inspired from the Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Insomnia series. The behavioral treatment is a top 3 thing. So it's not just what you think, it's what the behaviors are.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2, Dan?
It is our lifestyle kind of sleep integration. This was our plant-based nutrition, our breath work, our wearables, whether it's a ring, a watch, or whatever. And then really the connection, like we were talking a few moments ago, between your weight and your sleep. And that's where those GLP-1 pieces kind of come in.
And then number 1, it's a surprising winner. Even after we talked about all the things, the weight loss medicines, the behavioral series, the number 1 surprising winner is that there was a strong trend towards listener shift to sleep confidence in changing the way people can learn about their sleep by doing and learning the skills that are necessary to sleep and not using gadgets or prescriptions for sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on the right page. You're taking the information from here and you're getting better sleep, and you're not submitting to these products that are going to solve all of your problems. They're tools into how you're going to change your sleep through your thoughts and your behaviors. So with gratitude and a tremendous amount of excitement looking into the future, we invite you to share with us on next season 6.
My God. Well,
These personal breakthroughs with your sleep, share them with us. And we are wishing you a very happy new year and an exciting one filled with really good sleep and good feelings.
all right, Sleep Nation. Looking forward to seeing you on season 6 in 2026. All right.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye.